Coffee, Cake, and Camo podcast would not be possible without the support of our awesome partners. Thank you, Altria, for being a force behind the forces.
Hey there, Coffee, Cake, and Camo listeners. I'm Erica, and I'm here outside of our USO Center and the Norfolk International Airport. Chelsea, can you hear and see me okay?
Hey, Erica. Yeah, I can hear you very well. So, as you said, welcome everyone to Coffee, Cake, and Camo. I'm Chelsea, and this podcast is brought to you by the USO of Hampton Roads in Central Virginia. Just search the handle at USO hrcv, and of course, find us at hrcv.uso.org.
And before we get started, we want to take a second now to just thank a very special sponsor of the USO. Because without their support, we cannot bring you this podcast or work to fulfill the USO mission. So a special thank you to Altria. Altria has been a major supporter of the USO and our military community.
I know that's right. And in case any of our listeners are new to Coffee, Cake, and Camo or to the USO, the mission of the USO is to strengthen America's military service members by keeping them connected to family, home, and country throughout their service to the nation.
Yep.
All right, Erica. So first of all, I'm very jealous because you're at ORF. So tell me what's going on. What is happening?
Well, Chelsea, you just missed it. Earlier at our Norfolk Airport Center, we did have a few service members checking in, stopping by to see us to go, to their flights. But everybody, I don't know if y'all know this, but 176 days ago, each of our 11 USO centers had to close their doors due to COVID-19. We just wanted to keep our service members, our volunteers, and staff safe. But as it sits now, we're still not completely sure what's going to happen next. But at the end of July, our Norfolk International Airport Center did get the okay to start up our operations again.
Which is amazing. And I cannot believe it. It's insane. 176 days is outrageous. But at the same time, it feels like it's been longer than that. I feel like it's been 7 years since our centers have been open, since I was even able to leave my house. But it is exciting that ORF is open finally.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it too. Like you said, Chelsea, 176 days is a pretty long time. We really do miss seeing our service members and volunteers. But yeah, ORF, that's the airport code here in Norfolk. Things are a lot different here. And each center, when they reopen, they will operate a little differently too.
Oh, sure, yeah. But hey, with kids finally going back to school and some travel restrictions lifting, this is a very hopeful sign of some normalcy. So you're there to show us around, I assume. I want to see the center. I have to live vicariously through you. So what's up, Erica?
Yeah, Chelsea, well, like you said, we do want a little bit of normalcy. So I figured what better way to bring in some sense of normalcy to our followers and our service members than to show them around our USO Center here at ORF, just so that they know, if they do have to take a flight here, they kind of know what to expect when they stop by to see us.
Yeah, I'm excited. All right, let's get started. I want to see.
All right, I'm turning my camera around. So upon arrival, you'll see this sign right here just to keep our service members safe. You'll have to read it if you have any of these symptoms. It's best that you kind of don't come in, but this is definitely what they'll first see when they come into the center.
Makes sense.
Doors open, and look who we have here.
Hey!
Now, guys, here with us today is our Center Operations Supervisor, Len Friddle.
Hey, Len.
Hey, Len. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Len, it has been a hot minute. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in forever.
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm jealous because I'm not there and Erica gets to be out and about. But hey,
Yeah, we've been watching all these great podcasts, and now it's great to be part of one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're super happy to have you on there. And we're super happy that ORF is open. I mean, you guys are one of the only centers we have that's open right now. So it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're glad to be open, and the travelers that are coming through are really glad to have us open.
Oh, I bet they have to be super relieved because we've been getting calls all the time like, when your center is going to be open? I'm traveling, and we felt horrible that we've had to say we can't open, and now finally you're open.
Finally.
Yes.
Now, Len, well, the reason why I'm here is because everyone knows I'm Len's favorite podcast host, but I'll save it to myself. But Len,
we're going to have words later, Erica. Fight.
Could you share with our followers just a little more about yourself, Len? What you do here with the USO, how long you've been with the USO, all that jazz?
Yeah, I volunteered for the USO for about 7 years before I became the director, now the center operations supervisor. Been doing that for the last 5 years, but I was in the Navy for 39 years, and in my travels used USOs throughout the country, throughout the world. And then when I retired, I thought I just want to give back. And it's a great organization that just the reason they're here. They focus on the troops, and that's what I wanted to do. After 39 years working as a troop, I wanted to help them and just take care of them when they're traveling through. So that's what I do, and couldn't be a better job.
You're a true angel. I love stories like that. I love stories like that because it just goes to show how important the USO mission is. You were in service for so many years, and then when you're done, you're like, you know what? I want to give back to an organization that gave to me. So that's awesome. So but these days are different though. They're very, very different. So can you share with us what, let's just say, safety measures, for example, have been put in place for our staff and volunteers and obviously the service members?
Sure. Erica showed you the sign as she walked in. We have everybody take a look as they come in. We have them take a look at the sign, make sure they're not showing any of those symptoms. We ask them how they're feeling. Do they show any of the symptoms? When they walk in and they say no, if they say yes, well, then we go through that and talk to them a little more. But so far, everybody has said no. So then they come in the center. And as you can see, the first thing when they come in, we have our hand sanitizer machine. They'll clean their hands off, put hand sanitizer in there. If they
Love it.
If they don't have a mask, we have the first pack we have right here. We have masks. The airport donated these to us. There's 5 masks in a pack. So we tell them just to take a whole pack, and then they have 5 masks for them, their family, or other places as they travel.
That's great. Shout out to the airport for donating those.
Yep. And then our iPads that everybody checks in on, they now have a document protector over them, plastic document protector, so that we can clean it more often. And then we replace the document protectors throughout the day, but we clean them off periodically and thoroughly throughout the day so that that's protected from when they sign in.
Great.
You can see here we have our plexiglass cover here, protector between the individual checking in and the volunteers that are on the other side of it. So just added protection there.
Yeah.
Hand sanitizer again here. And just to note, we have hand sanitizer on every table and in between every chair, as you'll see. Every table has hand sanitizer because we can't stress the importance of that enough.
Oh, yeah.
So yep, hand sanitizer. And as you can see, just a shot of the common area. Normally we would have 4 seats at each table, but we only have 2. So we have all of our tables and our chairs as we go in are already social distanced.
Perfect.
So they don't have to try to figure out where they can sit. If there's a chair, they can sit there and it's social distanced out. That's why we're limited now to 34 people. So we have to cut it off at 34. If we were to get 34 in here at once, we know that there can be 34 people in here, plus the 2 volunteers, and be safely social distance.
That's awesome. And I'm just like, I'm getting so upset right now that I'm not there because I'm looking at your center, and that's one of my favorite centers. It's so beautiful and I miss it. Oh, and your volunteers have to be so happy to finally be back in the center doing what they love.
I think they are.
Yeah.
We have a great group of volunteers.
Yes,
We're
you do.
getting more, and they love being in here and helping the troops. And as the troops find out we're open, more and more come in, and that's what they do. They just help them in any way they need it.
That's awesome.
Well, speaking of volunteers, we do have a very special volunteer at our center today, Miss Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I have questions for you because I've known you for quite a few years, but I actually don't know the answer to this. How long have you been volunteering with the USO?
I have been volunteering since November of 2014, right after I retired from teaching.
That's awesome. That's a lot of years. Good for you.
Now, I don't know if our viewers know this, but Kelly is a little bit of a celebrity
She is.
because she not only was she the 2015 Volunteer of the Year for our Norfolk Airport Center, but she was also the 2019 Volunteer of the Year. So that's a double whammy.
Yeah.
Now, Kelly, can you share with our followers why the USO is so important?
The USO is important to me. It goes back to when I was teaching. I was a history teacher of 8th graders. And when we got to World War II, that's when I taught them about the USO, which started in 1941. And we would have a World Warfare night where we would show off our projects, AKA historical adventures, and have a penny war that would raise money for the USO. And for about the last 5 years that I was teaching, that 15-minute penny war would donate maybe $300 to the USO.
Wow.
You know, if I had a history teacher like you, maybe I would know history. So, but yeah, Erica's not lying though. You are a celebrity. You seriously are. So because when you're not in the center, we find you helping out at almost all of our special events. So can you share with us some of your volunteer responsibilities?
My responsibilities, of course, here at the center is to just be there for every service member and answer any of their questions, or if I can't find the answer, I know where to go. But I do like to volunteer at some of the events, like the Christmas event, or gosh, now I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I do a lot of
leave.
Pardon me?
Block leave, right? You're always there.
Definitely. That's one of my favorites. Block leave is definitely one of my favorites. And Snowball Express.
Yeah.
Those definitely are my favorite things to do.
Mm-hmm. Kelly mentioned block leave, and I've actually been here for the past couple of years, just popping in during block leave. And man, when I tell you, in the airport, these volunteers are put to work.
Yes.
Just because so many service members stop by. And of course, they appreciate all the volunteers that help them out. Now, Kelly, when service members and their families visit the center, can you kind of show us what to expect? I know Len kind of did a little overview of like what the process is, but what's the protocol of checking into the center and how service members can safely just enjoy the center while they're here?
Great. Well, first of all, we would ask them how they're feeling and also encourage them to get some hand sanitizer. And if this one's kind of unpredictable, so we have it in other places, they would show us their ID and then they would sign in on one of the iPads here. After they have signed in, then we would tell them about our center and what's available to them and make sure that they know that we're here to answer any of their questions and make them as comfortable as possible and get them on their way.
That's what you do so well. That's what all of our volunteers do so well. They make it a home away from home. But, COVID restrictions are in place, so everything's definitely not the same. Obviously, Len mentioned that there's a 34 maximum in the center. But what are some of the amenities there that they can still access when they're traveling?
Sure. Well, would you like to tour our facility? And we can.
I mean, of course. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, Kelly.
Right.
I want a tour. I'm living vicariously through all of you right now.
Okay. Come on in here. You can see that we're very busy right now. This is our media room. We have a TV that's available for them to access. They can change the channel if they're the only one in here. We also have a DVD player. Over here on the wall, we have DVDs that were donated, and so they are welcome to take any amount that they want to take, and we encourage them to do that. Same for the books that are over here in the book cases. These were all donated, and so if they'd like to take a book for their travels, they may have as many books as they like. CDs. I don't know if people still walk around with walkers, but
yeah, some people do.
Puzzles, things like that. So we even have a toy box that we can pull out a toy if we have families that have little children. So this is our media room. Mm-hmm. Come on through here. Right here we have, behind Lynn, we have toiletries if they need them, chapstick and toothpaste, toothbrushes, lotions, things like that.
I'm sure they get a lot of use too. I'm sure a lot of people come through and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have shampoo. Can you help me?
Yeah, the number one I think is toothbrushes.
Yeah.
And then they're pleasantly surprised about the chapstick.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You can never have too many chapsticks. That is a fact of life.
We definitely love this flag up here with all of the coins, and that is something that when we get a new coin, it's a real special event for all of us. In fact, we're overloaded, and one of our volunteers just made a new one.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah, he just finished that, and it fits perfectly next to our map with all the USOs in the world that he also made for us.
Looks fantastic.
It does.
So in our kitchen area, we have coffee, Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Thank
Woohoo,
you, Duncan.
Duncan.
Yeah, Dunkin'. We have again signs to encourage you to wash your hands or use the hand sanitizer. We have cold things, and we have some frozen foods as well.
I can't imagine having a refrigerator or a freezer that organized ever in my life.
Well, before COVID, we would have had a lot more kinds of things. We would have had sandwich makings and things like that, but we can't do that right now.
Not yet, but soon,
Not
hopefully.
And this refrigerator, we have cold drinks. Most Coca-Cola is definitely a big help for us in that respect. And as far as I know, Food Lion is giving us some water.
Yeah, they're great. They've been great.
Okay, and we have a snack rack here. We have a volunteer that needs gluten-free things, so she wanted to make sure that we had gluten-free options.
Yeah.
So that we have a space just for that. And we have a peanut grower that makes sure that every month we get our dose of peanuts, and they are excellent.
Oh,
They're very good. And it's perfect. You're in an airport, so you have to have peanuts. That would be wrong to not have them.
Right.
That's because they don't even give them to you on the flight anymore.
Right.
We try to recycle as much as possible, encourage people to recycle. On the tables, you most of the time will find bananas. That is the number 2 thing that we spend our money on. We have surveys here that our patrons can fill out. If most of the time we have to make sure there's a pen there, and those are up front, and we make sure that we wipe them down with a wipey before we give them to them and when we get them back. So we have 4 tables in here. We can seat 8 people very comfortably and distance. If you come back here into our quiet room, we ask that they not bring food into the quiet room. But here we have a place where they can play games, electronic games. Shout out to my son that is a concept illustrator for Utah.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
They can work on their computers if necessary. They can print out a couple of pages. A lot of times they need documents to get their rental car or even to get on their flight.
Yeah.
And we have lounge chairs here where they can sleep. And of course, that's pretty important for a lot of them. They've been traveling a long time.
Yeah.
We have hubbies here where they can store their gear and then go into the TV room if they want, or get something to eat, and their stuff is safe here. And it's quiet, back there.
And I also see that you have like a no sitting allowed chair right there.
Yeah, because it's not distance.
Right.
And there is no place to put it
Yeah.
right now.
Right.
So that is our center. We're very proud of it, and we're able to do a good job of keeping it clean and wipe down as soon as a patron leaves. We get out those Clorox wipes and wipe down wherever they were.
I would say you're doing better than a good job. You guys are doing a great job. I mean, it's excessive, but that's awesome because it makes everybody feel safe. I mean, you're even wiping down pens. I worry about that when people hand me a pen. I'm just like, I don't know nowadays if I want to touch that. But yeah, people can feel very secure coming into our center.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Trust me, Chelsea, I'm like standing here, and just by looking at all like the protocols that this center has taken, from the hand sanitizer to the distancing and all that, I mean, I feel pretty safe.
I forgot to say that we have our own arrival and departures board up there, and that has really come in handy. They don't have to walk out down to the end of the walkway to find out if everything is on time. And
That's
we
huge.
Appreciate it. We appreciate knowing that things have been canceled, and so they have a place to come, and that's a lot of times what they're doing.
That is such a convenience to have that in the center.
Oh yeah, I'm very impressed. But I've always been impressed by ORF. Y'all are amazing.
Oh yeah. As a teacher, this is a place I can still teach. I feel like I can still teach, and I can go into the community and tell people about the USO. And because I'm a teacher, I have those connections, and we've been to many schools, and those schools have decided to make the USO their civics lesson.
Oh.
And we also, we also encourage Ruritan clubs and churches. I can be anywhere at any time. I have a Ruritan club coming up in October. Real excited to see them, and many of those people are veterans, and so they're excited to see what the USO is doing today versus what it was doing 30 years ago.
And we're happy to have you as our representative because you do such an amazing job and you are such a testament to the USO and an amazing volunteer. So thank you so much, Kelly.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for the tour, and we'll just turn it back to Len, too. Thank you, Kelly and Len, so much for just talking to us about the center. It's really great seeing the both of y'all, just because, Chelsea can tell you, we don't get out as much.
Apparently, Erica does. I'm not bitter, you guys. I'm not bitter at all.
Erica's always here. She's always sticking her head in, making sure we're okay.
Thank you so much, Len and Kelly, for letting me bother you guys again.
Yeah, it was great to see both of you, even virtually on my end.
See you later.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Bye.
How great was that, Chelsea?
It was amazing. I am going to try to hide my jealousy, but it was so great to see everybody, and the center looks fantastic, and everybody should feel pretty safe being able to go in there because the restrictions are just fantastic. So very impressed.
I'm really happy that I got to do this, Chelsea, and hopefully next time, you'll be able to join me, but we obviously know that I'm the favorite, so it's okay.
You know what?
Just joking.
I know where you live, Erica. But no, it was great. And thanks for showing everybody. I'm glad that you got to be there and see everybody. So thanks to everyone for joining us today on Coffee, Cake, and Camo. If you want some more info on each of our centers or upcoming programs, events, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Search for the handle at USO hrcv.
And if there's a topic that you want to talk to us about, just share with us and use the hashtag CoffeeCakeCamo.
And one more amazing thank you to our sponsor, Altria. So I am Chelsea.
And I'm Erica. Stay connected and classy, HRCV.